everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you a couple of hydrangea plants I am putting in my garden. I garden in Zone 6 in Toronto, and I share lots of videos about all things gardening and my plants, and I wanted to today share with you these beautiful hydrangea plants that I am about to plant in my garden. They are absolutely beautiful, and I do not have this variety in my garden right now. I did plant a few Annabelles that I rescued, and these are very similar or improvements to that Annabelle hydrangea. So I'm very curious to try them out in my garden and hopefully be able to compare the two and see how they perform for me in my zone, in my soil, and in my garden. And I think that's the key, right? Because plants can behave differently in where you're growing them, based on your soil, based on how they like where you're planting them. So what I did for a whole week was place these pots actually in the spot where I was thinking of putting them, and they seem to be happy with the sun that they're getting. There wasn't a whole bunch of wilting, which can happen with these hydrangeas, but overall they have been doing okay in the pots so far. So I'm hoping that they like this spot and they're going to be happy here. Prepared the holes for them already, but I wanted to share with you specs on these plants and show you what these are. So these are the proven winners Incrediball hydrangeas. They are smooth leaf hydrangeas. So these are incredible for many reasons. I think number one is that they will bloom on all new growth. So it doesn't matter the frost, the winter harshness, they are still going to bloom for you. So they can be cut right to the ground. If it's a really bad winter and everything gets damaged, they will put out new shoots from the ground and grow for you. So they're incredibly tough plants, and what's good about these as well is that they are going to get ginormous blooms, right? So we all love those big hydrangea ball-like blooms, and that's what this is going to do, but it's going to be white. And yeah, I mean, let's go through what the specs are saying. So they do like sun or part shade, although I feel they will probably flower the best if they get a lot of sun. So at least 6 hours of sun, I think, for these. And the spot that I'm putting them in, they are going to get a good amount of morning and late afternoon to evening sun. So I think they're going to be happy here. They will get about 1.5 to 1.8 meters tall and wide, so about 4 to 5 feet. And then they really will flower in the summer, and that's where they are going to shine. So pruning is recommended late winter to early spring, and I would cut the plant by about a third, not more than that, and see how it performs for you. So it's a very hardy, improved Annabelle hydrangea with huge flowers on sturdy stems, and they are reliable native bloomers every year. So they are, I think another advantage of this one is that they do not flop like the Annabelle, so they will stay more sturdy. And I will be really testing them in this spot because they don't have a fence, they don't have anything behind them. So they are going to be living in this area here. I have like a dwarf plum tree that I recently planted here, so they are going to go in front of that tree, and I'm hoping that as the tree grows, they will kind of adapt to this area in a part shade kind of location, and we'll see how they do. I've already dug out two holes, and I did not space them. They probably are about 4 feet center to center from both plants, which is fine. I do want them to touch and mingle and form a little bit of a hedge around the tree, and that's what I want to do with them. And I think they will look really pretty in this spot. Trying to kind of create a little bit of a landscape around this tree, just the beginnings, and it is going to start with these plants, and I'm going to get them in the ground and I'll show you what they look like. So what I'm doing next is going to soak these holes, the planting holes, very liberally with water, because For many reasons, it is still not quite fall yet, so it's still summer and it can get really hot unexpectedly. And ideally I would have waited probably till mid-September to get them in the ground, but I'm just I think they will be still okay because it's easier to keep them hydrated in the ground as opposed to in the pots, although they're doing okay in the pots. So I just want to make sure that there is a lot of moisture in these holes before I plant them. And yeah, so just really soak them well, let the water just drain through in the holes, and also make sure the plants are well hydrated before you plant them, just so that they have a really good start in their new homes. And you'll see that the water will take a few seconds, but it'll kind of get soaked into the soil. And my soil is fairly well draining. There are some areas where it's hard, and this area it is a bit harder than the rest of my garden. I mean, it takes a little bit of time for this to be worked through, and that's what, you know, as you plant more things and you work the soil and you add manure and compost, the soil will get better over time. So that's another reason as well to kind of consider areas that are difficult. Start by planting some things in there and see how the soil reacts and how the plants do, because it's kind of a symbiotic, I find, relationship between the plants and the soil. So the plants give as much to the soil as the soil gives to the plants. So it's like a co-creation, I feel. And the plants, you know, although they need a really good soil to start, sometimes, you know, if you have bad soil, having some kind of planting done there helps the soil as well, because you are going to amend it, you are going to add fresh soil to it, and you are overall going to affect the quality of the existing soil over time. So I plan to kind of add some additional soil in the potting hole. I usually use something like a compost or a triple mix, but because this soil is a little bit slower draining, I will use something lighter like a triple mix, so that it's not too heavy on the soil and it has that drainage in it and bark chips and all of that. So I'm going to get these plants in the ground and I will show you what they look like when I'm all done. So the Incrediball hydrangeas are planted, and I love how they look in this spot. Actually, it just adds such a nice burst of green in this spot, which I think helps frame the tree a little bit. And I also love how they are already touching. These plants are quite mature. They're already about 3 feet wide. So I think as they grow and they mature together, they will almost touch and form a little bit of a semicircle here, which is what I want. And it gives me lots of opportunities to do other things around them on the other side, maybe some nice hostas or shade-loving plants. I also have some hellebores that I needed to plant. So I'm going to think about what goes there along with them, because these will offer a late interest in the summer. So I need something that will be okay in this part shade, that will give me some interest earlier on in the year. So I'm thinking maybe some hellebores around it, or I might just do some hostas or some pulmonarias around it. So I'm not really sure yet. I have to see how this area evolves, and if I do nothing this year, that's fine too, because next spring I'll have opportunities to add to this little section that I created. So the only other thing remaining is I have to edge this little section, what shape I want and how I want to shape it and finish it. So that is something I'll probably think about and do along with this other hydrangea hedge that I have started around this tree. So I have to think about the shapes and how I want it to look, and shape it and mulch it and do all of that. So that is still something I will do probably on the weekend, but I just wanted to get these plants in the ground. I have given them a good soak of water, and they look happy for now, and I think they will do well in this spot. So again, these are the Incrediball hydrangeas. I'm excited to try them in my garden and add them. They are new to me, and I am very much looking forward to how they do in my garden next year and in the years to come. So with that, I Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope everyone is having a fabulous day wherever you're joining me from. I'll catch you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.